All right, friends, it's Timon. We're gonna do another reaction video to Blaha because I just noticed this popped up this morning. It's about 5 in the morning. I saw him just pop up this video, the desperate Mr. Blaha himself. Gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness, desperate slave, lifting slave for money, which he's not making anything online. But anyway, so Blaha says, run from gurus promoting diets other than balanced whole food diets. Well, balanced whole food diets would be animal diets, according to humans, yes.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about
Oh, so it's Jason Blaha representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness. So what if it was somebody else?
you need to run from people who are promoting fad diets instead of balanced diets. But a quick reminder if you
And that would be Blaha. He's promoting a fad diet. You understand me? He's promoting a fad diet, dude.
guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you're not subscribed or following, please do so. And if you'll be kind enough to drop me a comment down below, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. We're seeing way too much of this again these days. This has always been a thing of people promoting diets that have a name and all this nonsense. And the reality, people need to be following balanced diets. And I get it for lifters.
Yeah, you need to be following a balanced diet. So you need to eat all the parts of the animal and not just one part, muscle meat. I mean, I understand you're going to the gym and, well, you're so used to eating just muscle meat, but the truth is you eat all the parts of the animal. You understand me? Yeah.
You're going to want more protein and stuff, perfectly fine, but even then you probably don't need as much as people are.
What does that mean, you want more protein? If a dog eats meat, that's protein, right? It's protein, but it's also nutrients. He always just says protein. Well, what are plants? Fiber, right? But what's found inside the fiber? Well, there's some liquid in there. I don't know. What happens when you boil it? What happens to that liquid? It's dead. Anyway, whatever. What happens when you fry your meat? Well, it dries up, right? It dries up, right? If you fry it, you grill it, all the good stuff that's in it dries up. Then it becomes really hard when you start chewing it. Raw meat is really soft and tender, nice. But anyways, whatever.
Telling you need, you don't need 300 grams of protein to gain muscle. You just don't. All right.
So you don't need 300 grams to gain muscle. So what do you need? 300 grams of carbs? See, the problem with these people is they're always measuring how much grams of protein do you need to build muscle. That makes absolutely no sense. It wouldn't matter because you as a carnivore consume meat all day, which is made from what? Protein. Get it, man? That doesn't make any sense. How much should you be eating? You eat whatever you eat. Man, whatever, man. Anyway, so why don't they measure out the carbohydrates though, right? There's no end to the carbohydrates. How much carbohydrates do you need to function as an abnormal human fucking being like Blaha, losing your hair and looking like the blob? How much carbohydrates do you need to destroy your physique, your attractiveness, your look, your hair, your body, and get sarcopenia? How much carbohydrates do you need, Blaha? Is it 300? Is it 400 grams? Is it 500, 600? You wouldn't fucking know, man. This 300 bullshit protein shit.
I digress. Over to the point. Everyone is so focused with all these weird, crazy, kooky ideas of we're getting into anti-nutrients. Like, oh my God. I mean, keep in mind, this has been completely debunked by the leading researchers and experts.
It's been debunked, but you brought it up, so it must exist. So here's the thing. Something can only exist if it's there, if they have knowledge of it. See what I mean? Here's the thing. When the people bring up this book called the Holy Bible, right? They say, well, there's this Jesus character. Well, the moment you tell somebody, where's Jesus in the Bible? He's not there. There's no section of Jesus Christ in the Bible. But the first thing they'll tell you is, but they mention him in the Bible. Well, that's different, right? See, they mention somebody called a Jesus Christ, but there is no Jesus Christ in the Bible himself, any of his writings or teachings or anything. But people, these characters, supposedly these fictitious characters in the book, have mentioned somebody called the Jesus Christ, and and this is whatever, some story. But that means if he's not in the Bible, that means he doesn't exist. But they mention somebody called Jesus Christ, but he doesn't exist. See what you understand? You see where I'm going with this? Yeah, man. So anti-nutrients, when you read the literature, it exists. It's not somebody mentioning stuff about anti-nutrients. They actually did scientific tests. It's not based on beliefs. It's based on truth. The problem in this society is when you tell the truth, it goes against people's beliefs. You understand the difference? Beliefs and truth. Truth is based on facts, and beliefs are based on nothing. Imagination, get it? Fantasy.
And registered dietitians and stuff, this whole thing. Like, there's tons of material saying, hey, this is stupid quackery.
Registered dietitian. They're a human being. They've labeled themselves, you understand? With the belief that they have some kind of knowledge. You understand what I'll explain to you? They're not born with knowledge, human beings. But they have the belief, you have the belief that this person acquired some knowledge. Can you prove that they did it? That they got this knowledge? Well, it's based usually on tests. And even scientists write in their reports, we don't know how this works. At the end of every study that they do, and they write, and we don't know how this works. We've done a test. These things happen, these chemical reactions, these events happen, but we don't know how it works. And you want to know why they don't know? Because humans don't know anything. Get it? They have to go based on experiences, their senses and experiences in reality. But Blaha's reality is based on fiction.
It's dumb. Just stop. This is nonsense.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? This is
Whatever.
what the best experts are telling you.
He's an expert.
Right? And
yeah.
here's the thing. There's no conspiracy to get you to eat fruits and vegetables. Just stop.
There are no experts. There's just you, your senses, and your experience. Yeah.
Stop. Again, anyone that's a perfect example. If anyone is telling you, yeah, there's a global conspiracy to convince people that fruits and vegetables are healthy, all right, that person is insane. Let me state that again. They're not just a quack, they are insane. They need to be in a mental institution.
Look at this guy jumping on a box. He's absolutely insane. People that jump on boxes, I think, are insane. How about that?
All right. Definitely don't.
Why is he doing this? What's the purpose behind jumping on this box? What is the purpose of jumping on a box? Then you must be insane. You see, you understand me? It serves no purpose. He is insane. Okay.
We need to be giving out nutrition advice. So over to the point.
Why is he exercising every day in the gym? Because he's insane. That's why.
It's nonsense. Or the crazy vegans. All animal-based foods are causing the problems, yet they'll eat coconut oil and refined sugar.
Well, that I'll agree with. This vegan thing is ridiculous. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, those are the top end of the problems. Just stop. They're plant-based. And you're also having nutrient deficiencies and brain damage because of your nutrient deficiencies. Just stop. Same thing.
But you can't be nutrient deficient if you eat all parts of the animal. If you eat the brain, which a good majority of people have never, ever eaten brain or liver or kidneys or any of these other parts of the organs in the body, or beef heart or anything like that. You know what I mean? There's lots of things people don't do. They don't do bone broth soups. There's so many things they don't eat of part of the animal, the skin or anything like that. The eyeballs, whatever. The beef tongue, they don't eat beef tongue. There's many, like I said, there's many other organs inside there that people do not eat. They just eat the muscle meat.
The carnivores, all plants, yeah, your plants are not the problem. Fruits and vegetables are not the problem. Just stop.
The question is this: why are you eating plants? Why are you eating plants? What started this kickoff, this revolution, eating plants? What made you become a farmer instead of a, I don't know, a hunter, which you were born to do, which you are not doing anymore, but you're bred to be a hunter, running and hunting. And is this a form of hunting? Is this cope here, Blaha? Are you coping by doing exercise to mimic hunting? That's not how we hunt. We don't do these.
The keto people, carbs, really just stop. All the longest lived, healthiest societies on earth eat 50% or more of their calories from carbohydrates. Again,
No, the reason why the majority of the population has shortened their lifespan in half is because they eat carbohydrates. See the difference? See the way Blaha words it? He says increased lifespan because they're eating carbohydrates. No, you've cut your lifespan in half because you're eating carbohydrates and you're not eating the rest of the other parts of the animal.
crap, this is all crazy fad diets, people. Crazy fad diets. What people need to be doing is balanced.
I love this. This is crazy fad diet. Do you think that eating all parts of the animal, the blood, the brain, the organs, the liver, kidneys, heart, lung, whatever, tripe, the stomach area, these parts, do you think this is a fad diet? You think it's fad?
Nutrition. Okay, we know based on all the available data, the higher diversity of fruits, vegetables, fibers, and things that you
Don't you think those animal parts are highly nutritious? See what I mean? No hunter has ever died just eating animals, but eating plants have gotten people sick and they die early.
eat, it's going to be a whole lot of food groups. Generally, the better your gut health is, the better your health is, the better your nutrient diversity is, the less
Exactly. The better the diversity, the better the diversity in animal, when you eat the entire animal, the better the diversity in your gut and everywhere, and your brain. All your body parts will be great. The cartilage, the ligaments, the tendons, when you grind them up and eat them. Yeah. You eat everything in that animal. Even the bone marrow, bone, man, you grind it up into a powder if you can. You eat everything, bro, and you're going to be super goddamn healthy. Healthier than you've ever been in your entire fucking life. Get it? But if you don't eat all the parts of the animal, then you're missing out on these key nutrients. Yeah.
balance problems you have, because anything that you're worried about, hey, getting too much of one thing versus another, starts to really go away real quickly. Different foods literally counter some of the minor negatives we get from other foods, right? We see this all the time. This is why a very balanced diet is so important. Okay.
See, what they found was this: these fish, they would go through this river, and these trees, the leaves would fall in the river, and these fish, they would eat the leaves because fish, they're they're crazy, man. They eat plankton, but they eat these leaves, and then these scientists, they took these fish from the water and they cut them, did a observatory scientific study on them, and they found that 75% of their DNA was made up of those leaves of the tree. Yeah. So you are what you eat. So if you eat the organs from that animal, you make up that DNA from that animal. Yeah.
Literally, some of the ends like phytic acid. But
But
if you
here's another thing. People have habits of eating eggs. They're like, oh, we got to eat eggs, because eggs are so great. It has all these, amino acids, blah, blah, blah. It's a cheap source of food. You really need to eat animals. You need to eat the organs, the parts. They regenerate your organs. They make you live longer. The question is this: what will make you live past 70 and another 70 years? Here's the question. People are dying at 70, right? So the lifespan is cut in half. you're missing another 70 years that you could be living and looking very young and strong and whatever, vibrant, never, never getting sick or anything like that. So, what do you need to do? You need to eat all the organs of that animal, and that will expand your lifespan another 70 years. See what I mean? But if you eat plants and just stick to eating, like, I don't know, maybe one part of the animal and especially cooking it, you're nutrient deficient. Here's the thing, you are still nutrient deficient. Get it? No matter how much you eat of these little parts of the animals, you're always going to be nutrient deficient in those areas because the diversity. Look, I'm going to put it like this. The reason why people, scientists will equate that the reason why we have shorter lifespans is because of gene diversity. Okay, what makes your lifespan short? Because of what? Nutrient diversity. Your nutrient diversity is short because you're not eating all the parts of the animal. Get it now, man? You understand me? I hope that registered in people's brains.
Eat any meat with iron in it, it completely removes any of the anti-nutrient concerns from phytic acid. That's a perfect example. Phytic acid has amazing health benefits, amazing antioxidant, anti-cancer benefits. So the same thing if you're eating small amounts.
Think about it. Why do they have all these blah is just rambling on about bullshit. You get these science people, you can see these channels on YouTube, then they go, well, you should be eating these parts of the animal. Yeah, you should be. And they're like, but we have these supplements like desiccated liver and dot, 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 dot. We have glucosamine for your joints. But all of these things are found in animals. The cartilage, the ligaments and tendons, the Asian people, if you go to their restaurants, they fucking eat cartilage, bro. They love shark cartilage too. That was a big thing a while ago where I live in my city. The government banned that because that's against the law. I don't know, shark cartilage, but they're so crazy. They think that there's special medicinal things will happen to them if they eat shark cartilage as opposed to, I don't know, cartilage from a chicken or a cow or whatever, but whatever. So yeah, here's the thing about Asians. They still try to eat a lot of diversity, like the organs, the brain. If you go to these Asian countries, they eat brain, they eat the organs, they know about these things. That's why when you go to these places like, what is it, Hong Kong and fucking Japan and even other places in China and Asia, these people are living beyond 100 years. They're like 117, 20, whatever. They're living quite long. You'd be surprised.
Of red meat or limited amounts, reasonable amounts. Guess what?
The only reason part of their life is still cut short is they can't stop eating that slave food diet. They keep adding it in there. They have a habit of eating rice, which has arsenic in it, which is cutting their lifespan short, and a bunch of other plants, which are not good for you.
Acid, for example, cancels out some of the concerns of the red meat as far as colon concerns and other stuff.
I don't know what he's talking about. Here's another thing. Your body, you have to train it to methylate. It's poor methylation. Dysbiosis is really bad. Dysbiosis means that you have more bad bacteria than you have good bacteria. Now, what's going to cause more bad bacteria to increase? Well, malnutrition, which is linked to what? Nutrient diversity, low nutrients, malnutrition, eating these fucking plants which are anti-nutrient, and they're toxic too as well. So you're not able to methylate because of toxicity. It has something to do with folate and a bunch of other things. So really it has to do with, at the end of the day, it has to do with diversity, a lot of nutrient diversity. So there are other nutrients that are found in these other parts in the animal which are not found in the muscle meat, which all of you have this crazy habit of eating everything for taste and not for health. Because everything to you is ew.
Insulin resistance. It's like, so in reality, leaner cuts of red meat do really, really well with any plants, foods that have fighting.
Leaner cuts of red meat. That's all he ever fucking talks about. He never talks about kidney, liver, brain. Ligaments and tendons, you should grind them up with some cartilage, grind it up and eat it with beef. Maybe this muscle meat, right? He never ever mentions any of these fucking things. Want to know why? Because he's a slave, bro. Get it? It's a peasant. You're looking at a peasant, a slave, and that's all he does. He regurgitates the same thing, the same shit that he has been conditioned to do. You understand me? Here, you have to break out of your conditioning. Bro, I'm not the oldest person on the internet, but I would say I'm not stupid either. I'm not the wisest, but I'm getting wiser. But there are a lot of people out there that are older than me and still continue in this fucking peasant slave food fucking lifestyle. You understand me? They, I make videos after videos. They probably listen to my videos, but they continue in their behavior because they've been conditioned to be a peasant slave, bro. Get it?
acid, certain grains and legumes and stuff that people are worried about. See how this works? Just following a balanced diet.
That's all he could talk about is stupid legumes and garbage shit. Farming. We are not farmers. You need to get this out of your mentality, this stupid behavior, this peasant behavior.
My God. So it's like, wow, maybe eat some brown rice with your steak. Holy crap. All sorts of.
And you need to eat brown rice with your steak. Why? And why are you just eating steak all the time? What the fuck?
All sorts of good stuff happens. Right? So this is what we.
I know people that have never eaten seafood in their, I think in their entire life, or they don't like it, or they just don't eat it. How the fuck could you go throughout your entire life not eating seafood? See what I mean? Again, diversity. We're talking about nutrient diversity. I'm not saying it is a prerequisite. You have to eat seafood. You can find all these things really in animals for sure. But it is good to widen this diversity, especially shellfish and stuff. You see bears, they dig up shellfish, they eat fish, they'll eat animals too. Diversity, bro. See what I mean?
I mean by a balanced diet. Quit excluding entire whole food groups.
Yeah.
If a balanced diet means we should be eating.
Exactly. Why are you excluding all the organs of the animals? Why are you excluding seafood, shellfish, all these things? Why are you excluding this diversity in nutrients? Why?
Eating some of most of the different food groups to some extent, right? So you need to be eating fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, tubers.
See? Because you're not eating, because Blaha was conditioned not to eat any of these organs or drink the blood or the ligaments, tendons, or cartilage, heart, liver, whatever, brain. You have to eat legumes and these seeds and nuts and fucking plants and shit and all that. Get it, bro? To make up for what? For this disease you have. It's called mental illness. Get it, bro? It's called peasant slave mental illness. Yeah.
Lean meats, dairy, eggs, these are all beneficial.
Lean meats, dairy, and eggs. That's all they could think about. Lean meats, dairy, and eggs. What about fucking organs and shit? Ligaments and tendons and cartilage and shit, you dumbass. What about brain? Fucking dumbass. Look, even Tristan Lee, I liked the things that he ate, but there was not much diversity there. I mean, he did eat beef tongue and a bunch of other things, but there still was lacking diversity there. Didn't see him, I never saw him drink any beef blood or anything like that. See what I mean?
Things, right? They're all beneficial things, and most of them, any concerns that you have from them are only there in excess. So if we're eating a balanced, varied, whole food, mixed diet, we're pretty good. If we're avoiding excessive saturated fat, we're...
But you're not. But you're not. He says avoid saturated fat. You should eat as much saturated fat as you can. Fuck, man. If I don't get enough saturated fat, I start drinking milk because saturated fat. I go crazy.
avoiding refined sugars, we're avoiding alcohols, and we're just eating a very mixed diet, you're going to be, in terms of dietary nutrition,
But you're not eating a diverse diet. That's your problem.
in the top 5% of the population,
Nobody
easily,
is.
just in terms of.
Nobody is. Very few people are eating a diverse diet. So people go to the market, even these Asians, they still are, even them not today are eating diverse. They're eating some parts. I watch what they put in their baskets. I talk with them. They buy unusual animal parts, but they don't eat all the animal parts. They're not they're not diversifying. They're not doing everything. Very few people eat beef heart. You know what I mean? Go to the market, look there. And then the people that do buy the beef heart, they're not eating the kidneys or fucking I don't know, the beef blood or anything like that. They're just doing this part or that part. So there's a lack of diversity.
Even if you don't really fine tune anything else beyond that, even if you don't care about what your nutrients are and track them or try to fine tune anything, you're still going to be really, really, really good. You're going to be in the top 5% just by following those rules.
No, you're not, because you're following this brainwashed peasant slave food conditioning by Blaha. You understand me? That's why you're going to fail.
Okay?
All of you are.
But people get obsessed over nuance while they're still doing silly stuff. They get into the silly fad diets.
That's what he's doing. He follows a silly slave food peasant diet. And this lifting is slavery in the jib exercise.
They're unhealthy. They get extremely obsessed about individual things like a pesticide or something or an anti-nutrient. And it really is a waste of time. These are obsessions. And I'm not saying.
Regardless whether it's anti-nutrient or not, you don't need it. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? You don't need those. You don't need plants as a carnivore. You need diversity in your diet, animal diversity. Yeah.
We shouldn't ever care about these things. But
No, you shouldn't be eating rabbit all day. Rabbit's the worst thing. You won't have gene diversity if you eat rabbit. Here's the thing. Why do they say that if you eat sardines? Sardines in cans, the whole sardine is there, right? It's the whole sardine you're eating. They haven't gutted it or taken out the bones or anything or whatever. Even the organs are still intact inside these sardines, right? They're small. So they have very low mercury, if that, have any of that in there. And so they're so good for you, these sardines, right? Because they eat plankton. They're not predatory fish. The smaller the fish, the better. Yeah, there's more diversity there.
the point.
The old saying is, a can of sardines keeps the doctor away.
That's a perfect example. Number one, you're not getting away from pesticides in foods. Number two, fortunately, you don't have to. Our body can handle small amounts.
See this slave pushing this thing? He wants to convince you that these slaves that he's talking, slaves and peasants, you can handle these pesticides and everything. It's okay to poison yourself.
You're not going to get away from them. But number three, like, why do you even care
You will get away from them as long as you eat animal diversity. Yeah.
if your other stuff isn't dialed in? It's like, you'll see someone who drinks alcohol who's worried about a pesticide. Like, you know how stupid that is? No, I mean, literally.
And you shouldn't be drinking alcohol or anything with pesticides in it.
You know how dumb that is?
Yeah.
That's like throwing away $100 bills while obsessing over a dime somewhere. It's that level of stupid. I mean, that is a level of
Without a dime, you don't have a dollar.
stupidity. Like, that's not just bad. That is so stupid that you have to wonder if that person can tie their shoes on their own. Because one of these is objectively way scarier and worse than the other.
What exactly are you listening to? Jewish people have the worst genes. They interbred with each other. Jewish people. That's why Blaha has horrible genetics. Look at him. Look at his face, his head, his body. That's another reason why he doesn't like himself. He hates himself. Jewish people hate themselves. They're messed up because interbreeding. Because low gene diversity. These Jewish people, yeah.
For the same reason. as being a poison. And that's what I mean, guys. Just a balanced diet. Don't worry about the minor things. If you're eating all whole foods, you're eating a varied diet, you're getting all these various foods, and you're limiting the really bad stuff, refined sugars, saturated fat in excess, alcohol, all these things. If you're doing these things, you're in a good place. So stay away from.
Look at them. Jewish people are so unattractive, a good majority of them. They're very unattractive. There are some that could be, I don't know. Depends what groups they come from, but the majority of them, they interbred, right? They interbred, these Jewish people, and their genes are horrible because of lack of gene diversity. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Think about it. Gene diversity, and then there's animal diversity. You are not eating all the parts of the animal to be healthy and have all these nutrients. So you're always going to be what? Nutrient deficient, regardless of what you do. So then they say, well, you need to eat these plants and everything and all that to make up for the lack of nutrients. Lack of nutrients of what? See, here's the thing. Here's the kicker. The lack of nutrients from what? From you eating what? All the parts of the animal, which you are not. Get it, dude? Yeah, you see how they fucked you? That's how they fucked the slaves.
The fad diets, and anyone who's promoting them, they're either a con man or they're crazy.
That's Blaha. He promotes the slave food peasant diet. He's insane, sickly insane. Look at his food basket. What's in there? Slave food peasant diet. Get it, bro? He doesn't promote eating animal diversity at all whatsoever. He just keeps rambling on about red meat, one piece of meat like muscle meat in the animal. What about the rest of the animal? What's it worthless or something? What's it going to trash? Blah.
And that's what you have to remember. And really, either one of these is a problem. And I don't mean a good type of crazy. I mean, I'm definitely crazy. You guys see
He is crazy.
me pushing a sled barefoot, like, oh, let's squat 500 pounds at
Yeah, he's pushing a sled because he's insane, bro. Get it?
age 48. Let's go running barefoot. Let's push a sled down the street. I'm crazy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not crazy. But there's different types
Exactly. He admits to it. You people are crazy listening to him, his fans.
of crazies.
Yeah.
These are like need to be in an insane asylum crazy.
That's him.
And really a lot of them are. Like they're that nuts.
That's him.
Like it looks almost like undiagnosed or unmedicated schizophrenia. Like some of this
That's
nonsense.
Blaha.
Some of these diet people. Like I really think that's what's happening. These are major disorders going untreated. And then they're spouting off nutrition stuff online. Run from these people. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say.
That's him spouting out nutrition advice on YouTube. Run from these people called Blaha. His nutrition advice is bullshit. See you in the next one, man. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Another foolish video.